welcome back to the AOS crowd. Today, we're going to be covering Bloodshed in the Shires, which took place in High Wycombe in the UK in the first week of February. Before we dive into that though, Quin, hobby update?
Hello everyone, hope you're all doing well. I've been on the road for the past 3 weeks, just doing a couple of tournaments, 3 of them team tournament, 2 of them team tournaments, and 1 doubles tournament. One in Slovakia, the other one in Germany, and then finally one basically in my backyard. If you want to hear more about one of those results, we'll be having a guest on in the next video. We'll go over that a little bit. But enough about me. Phil, how are you? Hobby update, how are you doing?
Hobby update. Well, battlescroll isn't a thing still, which has kind of wrecked my life. As you know, self-proclaimed king of the reps. I have literally played 0 Warhammer since Brotherhood. Obviously, I've had a tournament in between, but I played no practice games. I've not played any games since. GW, come on. I believe in you. We know Battlescroll is coming out at some point this week, so I am keeping all of my fingers and toes crossed that I can enjoy Age of Sigmar again. What we will do when Battlescroll does drop, we will release a video at some point in a week or so afterwards, once we've had time to digest it and dive into our thoughts about it. With regards to your busy schedule, Quin, are you going to enlighten us with who our special guest is going to be for your tournament review?
Yes, I will be joined by one of Team Lit's members, one of my very close friends and wargaming buddies, Toby, AOS Toby from Germany. I believe he's captain of Team Germany, Age of Sigmar now as well. And he was my captain during the German Club Championships, and we will be going over our tournament experience and what we sort of did in preparation to the event, how we approached it, and yeah, especially we'll be having a great look at how he builds his list and how he basically helped the entire team adapt their list to what we thought we were going to be needing.
That's amazing. What I will say is Toby is one of the great minds of Age of Sigmar, and he spoke of extremely highly within Team Lit, and I'm sure everywhere around the world as one of the best players in terms of the minutiae of the game, and it's going to be super exciting hearing his thoughts and how he goes about team tournaments and pairings as captain, etc. So I'm really looking forward to that one coming out in the next couple of weeks as well. So that will be super exciting.
But I'm currently more excited about your unusual list that you took to Bloodshed.
Yeah, it's a bit different to the one I took to Atlanta, and apologies to everyone when I said at the end of the last video I was going to take a brand new list that I've never played with before, and in my head I was going to take OBR and take 8 Morghast, and I bottled it. Because I didn't really want to play the game at the moment. I'm trying to work out all the 12-inch auras and the 1 million command abilities you can do every turn. It just wasn't for me, so I went back home and decided to go back to the happy space that I've found in this edition so far, which is Gloomspite Gits. Like the hero loadout, really different to normal. I've gone double squig boss, standard clammy hand, and then chucked on Arcane Tome just for an extra mystic shield. Battle line, I've gone with my 2 hammers, which I'm kind of known for. Like, I like 2 big smashy things. 15 Boingrot Bounders, and then 36 Squig Herd, and then another 5 Boingrot Bounders. Finishing out the list, Sneaky Snufflers, don't leave home without them. That 5-up ward, potential +1 attack is outrageous. Gotherpalooza, best unit in the game. Going to throw it out there. Was it 15 wounds through a 2-cast wizard that has a 4-up ward turn 1. Probably 2 of the best spells in the game. No command abilities, -1 to hit aura. And then I took Hand of Gork, because who doesn't love a teleport? Loon Smasher Fanatics, going to have a fun story with them later on in one of my games. They were a little bit naughty.
Oh, no.
And you better believe they were hiding in the Gotherpalooza. So, strong from them.
Best screen in the game.
Exactly. I've then gone Snarlfang Riders, which I believe turned up in loads of Git's WhatsApp groups about, oh my god, Phil's taking Snarlfangs. Why? They're really quick, and actually their damage is pretty nasty. So they have this ability where if they wound something with their shooting attack, they get +1 to hit and wound, which means you end up with 10 attacks, 2s and 2s, no Ren 2 damage, which is pretty awesome for a 120 point speed cav unit. And then I've gone for the Marsh Crawler Slog Off. Got Dobby back in. His aura of +1 to hit is naughty, and for no real utility pieces to hand that out, not relying on spells, just have a static 18-inch aura, really saw me well in the vast majority of my games. So that's the list. Double Battle Reg, 1950. Don't Run Away, Triumph. It was a lot of fun to play with. I was in King's Gits. So no, I wasn't. I was in Jaws of Morg, which is the +1 attack on the charge with the squigs. Grand Strat, Protect the Shrine. I believe I only didn't protect it once.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, there's a couple interesting choices in here, considering that this is a little bit different to what you took to Atlanta. The first thing I'm noticing is the double squig boss instead of Scragrot and a couple other smaller heroes for the Acolytes Battalion. Where did that choice come from?
So that choice came from my perception of red matchups. So we identified within, I say we, Team England, Luke Morton, the list writer. We had a chat about what I was going to play, and he was like, why don't you give this a go? Because our red matchups inherently are like Seraphon, where once your heroes are gone, it becomes really difficult. They dominate the magic phase. It stops me getting off Hoarfrost. So Hoarfrost in this list would be vitally important. However, with all the points I'm saving from not putting in your Madcaps, Web Spinners, Scragrot, I've managed to get Dobby. So Dobby, with the +1 to hit, negates the fact that I need to get spells off in order to get my essential Hoarfrost. I'd always use Hoarfrost for +1 to hit on Squigherd. So we went to the Squig bosses. One, the mortal wound output is obscene. So to give the Squigherd mortal wounds, or to give them +3 to move, or to give the Bounders +3 to move, and then the Bounders are even quicker. The static abilities from the Squig bosses are amazing. And then in addition with the Squigherd, you have the pre-game move ability, so you can really alpha your opponents, and I love alphaing people and trying to end the game as quickly as possible because I don't like standing up. So the longer I can sit down, the better. So yeah, that's why we went with the double squig boss. We also felt like with Gits into Seraphon and stuff, particularly, those heroes are dead in top of turn 1, potentially, definitely dead by turn 2 with Comet Scroll because you're never healing them.
Yeah.
So we kind of felt like if we can get that one turn off with all the buffs, we should put ourselves in a really good position. So that was the choice with the slight change up in the hero loadout. For the most part, it was really good. And we'll go into where I think I missed out and stuff later when I talk about my games.
Hmm. I think also that the Squig Boss is a great addition when playing Jaws of Mork. As you mentioned, the mortal wound output of the Squig Herd just then skyrockets even more, especially with the extra attack on the charge and all the other buffs you can provide for the Squig Herd. So I think that this, you're basically turning your tiny little caliber pistol into a 44 Magnum, where you
Yeah.
just blast your opponent off the table. I really like the list, and first and foremost, the Squig Herd. It's wonderful. It's so good. It's so many
Yeah.
wounds.
It is obnoxious when it's like compiled with, like you say, all the buffs. So you get the mortal wounds off. You get +1 to hit from Dobby. You're then looking at potentially 2 up on the Snufflers. You get 5 up ward. That's 72 wounds. Quickly becomes, 98 wounds on a 5 up ward. Gobblepalooza can give you either +1 to run and charge if you're worried about that rolling snake eyes, or +1 rend if you need the extra rend. And even Mystic Shield on them is totally viable if you're not coming up against armies with mass rend and you're just looking to sit on your 6 up, and then 5 up ward afterwards. I've got an obnoxious story with the 5 up ward in game 2, which I don't think I will ever repeat in my life. And my opponent took it in potentially the best way ever, which thank God, because he might have thought there were some shenanigans going on. So yeah, Squig Herd, amazing. Like, as soon as you roll that 5 up on them from the
Mm-hmm.
Sneaky Snufflers, they turn into an absolute nuke. So you're going in 180 attacks, freeze, potentially -2 rend, 6s do mortals in addition. Like, they will lift an opponent's army on their own a lot of the
Yeah.
time. So yeah, they balled out this weekend.
Lovely to hear. Since you've already been talking a lot about your opponents and your games, why don't we get into that?
Yeah, so we joked that we played round 1 game 1. So
Mm.
the draw came out a few days early, and I paired into one of the favourites to take out the tournament, which was Matt Gouldsborough. Unsurprisingly, it also meant I was playing into one of my red matchups because he bought Seraphon. So the list we designed to try and give us play into Seraphon, we got to test it right off the bat on every step is forward.
Mm.
So 4 objectives, quite spread out. We had 2 big bits of impassable terrain, and then he got to put his terrain. So he managed to block off the board quite significantly with where I could get to. He had a slightly different Seraphon list. He ended up with starting with 20 Saurus Guard, which I believe was to play into the city's build of the Fusiliers to make sure Croak just didn't get shot off turn 1.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, that build, I think, is a lot more difficult for myself than the 40 Saurus Warrior build that you've seen quite a lot of in the UK. He also had Command Core, which are just as broken as an ally, especially in Seraphon, that don't need any help in like upsetting your day in general. So
Yeah.
that was quite upsetting when I was reading through his list. But me and Matt had a great game. We duked it out on a chess clock. Boo! Yeah, we played on a chess clock in England.
No.
What's happened?
Oh no.
God forbid. So Matt went. I made Matt go first. He just scored 1-2 more. Kind of used his summoning points, added additional screens, and my plan to this list is try and get a really good double and get it early and try and get rid of as many resources as possible. So I've put all the buffs on the Squig Herd, pre-game moved, got my Boing Grots, and I've gone in, lifted all of his screens basically with the Squig Herd, which is no surprise with all the output that I've had. And then his command core stopped my bounders charging because I failed a
Oh
5-inch
no.
charge, and then that bloody 4-up came
Oh
out,
no.
and there was me, sad panda,
Oh, it
just like,
hurts.
if these bounders can fly over and whack you, we're in the game.
Oh no.
That was not the case.
Oh,
Um,
that's rough.
yeah, so I was like, okay, it's fine. Classic female, fine. Like, it's really not. Like, crying inside. Priority goes, break out that big pearly white England dice. It's a 6 win prior. Love it. The game plan is to take it, right?
Mm.
So take it. Um, I soon realised that without the mortal wounds on the squig herd, this was going to be brutal to get through these Saurus guards because
Mm-hmm.
they were Mystic Shielded, which obviously puts them on a 2-up. I can't raw them or anything, so they're going to be sat on a 1. And I put in 30 squig herd, or 36 squig herd even, into 15 Saurus guard, and I think I killed 5. And this is on the charge, so 120 attacks, freeze and freeze, but with no buffs because
Mm-hmm.
I can't cast my spells to teleport things.
Yeah.
Because Croak just shuts me down, so I can't get my buff pieces back in range. And to be fair, that's probably where I've let myself down in not playing as many practice games as I should have done in the lead up to the event and worked out the positioning. But
Mm-hmm.
it was tough. However, I managed to get in, pin him in his deployment, and then control the primary for a good few turns, coupled with a couple of terrible magic phases from Matt, which didn't allow him to blow me away.
Mm-hmm.
And then my biggest mistake is probably going, oh, just cast Blizzard, you'll get it on a double 6, it's fine. And at no point was he ever thinking of casting Blizzard. And then double 6. There we go. Let's go and take 18 mortal wounds on those bounders, please. Absolutely fuming. But yeah, don't even give your opponents ideas. That was really, really bad of me.
Well.
And then duked it out. Managed to keep it really tight. I believe I was up a point going into turn 5 prio. Best case scenario for me in this game now, based on me losing all my key pieces and just trying to force him to stay where he was a draw. So I only had 3 units left, and all I could do was surround and destroy. It'd mean I'd get 4 points. Maximum he could score is 5. We've already denied each other's grand strats.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, he won the prio, killed my sole Gobblepalooza, little cheeky wizard that was waiting, and that turned off surround and destroy. I then realised, in my turn, if I made an 11-inch charge with my squig herd, I could do stab him in the dark, but we rolled it obviously with no reroll. It's not really realistic. So after that, Matt scores his 5, and he ends up winning 24-22, which is rough, especially to take game 1. Losing game 1 isn't ideal. So yeah, that was my game 1 against Matt G. Had a lovely game, but yeah, disappointed.
Well, disappointing games round 1 are usually what breaks people's spirits at that time, especially at such a competitive level when you're going into a game knowing first it's a red, second it's it's a very, very good player, and third the scenario might suit you, but you're already sort of dealing with the red, the good player mentally. How do you Phil, get yourself back into like this headspace of it happened, moving on?
Yes, I guess for me, I like before the event, I'd already worked out how many 5-0s you could get, or what was the maximum amount of 5-0s. And based on the player size, there's potentially 5, but a 4-1 could podium. So, like knowing I could no longer win the event was like, right, what is my best way at trying to make sure I finish up on that podium? And that is go into like smash mode. So I need to go balls to the wall now, try and get as many points as possible, and make sure I'm fighting at the top end of my bracket to try and make sure I'm in with the ability to try and finish on the podium. So that's like, I have like a foot on throat mentality, comes from cricket. Like, as soon as you're up, like, try and not give any wiggle room to your opponents and just close the game out. Don't be that nice guy and be like, oh, you can have these points, you can have those points. I just went for the kill, which was pretty evident in my next 3 games. So across my next 3 games, I gave up a total of 9 victory points, whilst scoring, what was it, like 88. So
Jesus
88 plays
Christ.
9 across my next 3 games.
No mercy.
No mercy indeed. I won't go into too much detail with these 3. I played against Will Philpott, who is an absolutely incredible human being that's part of my gaming club, Lance and Buckler, also part of the South Coast Eternals, so know him really well. Commonly famous for being able to drink a pint ridiculously quickly, which, to be fair, if that's how we did priority rolls, he might have got maybe 2 more points. So, yeah. He was playing Slaves of Darkness. Really odd list. Loads of warriors. A chariot that was Slanesh, but no Slanesh heroes, so can't run and charge. He had, I believe it was a Lord of Change, don't think it was Kairos, just to try and give him a bit of flex in the magic phase. I just yeeted 36 Squig Herd at him turn 1 and took off 20 Nurgle warriors and 5 Marauder horsemen, and then mortal wounded his Feridons off afterwards, which was amazing.
Ow, that just hurts.
Yeah, it wasn't great for him. And this is where my dice were silly. So he got to hit me with his Feridons, and he did, I think it's like 25 damage.
Oh Jesus!
I was like, that's rough. This
12
guy.
squigs going.
This guy right here, 21, 5 upwards. Yeah.
You are ridiculous.
Yeah. I was just rolling these batches of 10 Lance and Buckler, like, luminous green dice, and the first set went through and I missed like 1 ward save and was like, I'm not sure if I need to apologise or not, because this isn't maths. So, yeah. So that happened. I then doubled him. And that was basically...
You disgusting human being. I am appalled.
Yeah,
Ew.
but it's all about that differential, 29-point differential on Pulse. So you got to do what you got to do in this scenario, right? You got to just kill it, buy him a pint, and just move on to the next one.
I suppose, yeah.
And then the next one, a man I absolutely love, and he's a great asset to the community. And I've always vowed that if ever I played him, I would break my no drinking whilst playing rule, because he's just an amazing human being, and that is Alex Jones, or Ghost Arm on Twitter. He runs Mancunian Carnage, which is a great event up at Element Games. He does singles and teams, and I'll do my best to try and support his events as much as I can. I think he's, like I said, incredible bloke. So I've got to the table with a Guinness for him. I've got myself a Corona. And he's already got 2 Guinnesses at the table. So I know this is going to be a very quick game. So we've got a Gitz mirror in the ice fields. And he just sends loads of stuff in really weird places turn 1. And I'm there like, I really don't know what you're doing. Because this isn't how the game plays. So he yeeted his big mangler squig into me, turn 1.
Mm-hmm.
He did lead into the maelstrom, but didn't finish in the table quarter, so he couldn't run and charge his battle line unit, and he'd already ran them.
Oh
So
no.
I was like, cool, you've dropped your points there. His mangler then whiffed, and that, ladies and gents, is why we don't play manglers. So they, I think he killed like maybe 6 squig herd.
Oh no.
And on the flip back, the squig herd killed the mangler. So I was pretty happy.
That's a good trade if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, it was obnoxious. I've then taken my turn, and in my turn I took off 20. Was it 20? God, not Boingrots. What are the rubbish ones? Squig hoppers.
Squig hoppers, yeah.
Yeah. Again, why squig hoppers? We will never know. I guess why, the answer is probably Alex. They're like amazingly painted. Took off 20 squig hoppers and 24 squig herd. That left him with Scragrot, 3 heroes, and 10 bounders.
Ooh.
I then won 1 priority and we went to the pub. So I got a big 28-2 there. He probably could have played on, like, with the use of the shrine, bringing stuff back, but at that point he's lost so many resources, and on that double turn he doesn't have any models left, so he's only getting 1 roll on the shrine to bring stuff back. Even if he does, he's not taking off my 2 hammers with either 5 Boingrots or 12 squig herds, so I totally understand why he's just gone, you know what, I should, like, I think he even said, like, how the hell am I even playing you? Like,
yeah,
he is known for enjoying the social side of events, having a drink, and being an amazing person and an amazing painter. But he has taken out some names before. My name is not on that list, thankfully. So I've done the most I can do day 1, which is go back up to 2 and 1. And then the draw comes out, and I have got Ricky Me, who quite a few people will know, has represented England. Very, very good at Warhammer. And we are playing on no risk without reward. We're both 2 drops. He has got 4 megas. So we both spoke about it a little bit before the game, and we're like, the roll-off for deciding who goes first is actually really important here, because it's a case of, like, you can deploy super aggro and I have to screen it off and then sit deep, but that then means you can give me the turn and I probably can't get to you. But if I win it, you can't hide. Like, with that diagonal deployment, my 2 hammers will get to your back table quarter easily in the first turn. Fortunately, like the expert Warhammer player I am, I won the roll-off. And I've put everything on the front line. he counter deployed and went, "Do you know what? I can't hide, so I'm going to try and protect 2 megas, because as long as I have 2 megas, I can still play this game. But if he has no megas, he can't." So, turn 1, do all my spells, do all my buffs, and I did no command abilities on King Brod because he decided to do Finest Hour. So I was like, right, I'm going to knock off your Finest Hour and go, right, no command abilities, so you're not going to be able to do all our defense. What this meant was he also couldn't redeploy, so I could like wrap around the back. I decided to literally shit out my fanatics, and you know when I said they did some work. This was the game. This was the game.
Oh no.
Yeah. He did, however, get a really big deploy on his Gatebreaker, which stopped my Bounders making their charge. However, didn't matter. So, fight first on the Fanatics.
Yes.
Didn't stop them. Error number 1. And I rolled 28 attacks on 5d6.
Is that allowed?
It really shouldn't be.
Is that allowed? Oh.
I looked at him and I just went, that was a little bit above average. I then, with the Marsh Crawler, these Fanatics become freeze and freeze at Ren 2. So, no command abilities on Brod. He's already got +1, so he'll have a 5 up save. These lads did 32 damage to King Brod. 32 of the damages. This meant that my Squig Herd could focus more on the Gatebreaker that my 15 bounders were going to go into. And his Gatebreaker went to hit my Squig Herd and, like, whiffed, basically. Didn't really kill any. And what he did kill, I just took off the ones that were going to fight Prod, because I'd rolled the extra attack, so I'm 5 attacks each, mortal wounds, Ren 2. Like, Brod's dead, so let's ignore Brod. So I think I hit him with 16 Squig Herd into this fully healed Gatebreaker, 5 attacks each. So, like, on average, you're doing about 15 mortal wounds, and then it is about 20 damage after armor saves. And I think it was maybe like by 1 or 2 extra pieces of damage. My Squig Herd and these MVPs and the Fanatics lifted King Brod and a Gatebreaker. Like, it was pretty spicy. It's then priority, and then it's then Ricky's turn. Sorry, so then it's Ricky's turn. I didn't realise how much damage a Gatebreaker can actually do, and I was a little taken aback. I didn't realise that if you're in cover, he gets +1 damage. And Ricky's dice were just as hot as my ward saves in game 2. This Gatebreaker went whack. I was on Mystic Shield, in cover, all-out defence, and I lost 15 Boingrot Bounders to 1 Gatebreaker.
Sounds about right.
And I was just sat there like, if he wins the turn, I'm losing my Loon Shrine.
Oh.
I don't lose priority rolls.
Ooh.
That doesn't happen. So, the Squig Herd, cheeky little teleport, get the buffs off again. And we're like, I'm going to go 3 away from both Gargants that are left. And that way, whichever one you redeploy, if it's massive, I'll just go into the other one. Ricky loves a 6-inch redeploy on Gatebreakers, and it is infuriating. However, I've decided I'm going to give my Squig Herd +1 to run and charge because I'm feeling ballsy. Got a natural 10. Natural 10. There's no more Gatebreaker. At that point, Ricky then plays out his turn. Scores another couple of points, and then I do the classic. Let's roll for priority. It's a 6. I'll take it. He hasn't even rolled a dice yet, and he just offers his hand. So that was potentially quite a swingy game if the initial priority went differently, but fortunately for me, it landed in my favour. So that's it. I've maxed out all my games. I've got a 12-8 loss and then 3 massive 20-0s, which puts me in what I like to call the Dream Breaker bracket. So top of the 4-1s, I'm playing up into the odd number of undefeated players. This is what I've gone for throughout the whole tournament. This is my one opportunity to podium.
One chance, one opportunity.
Exactly.
Do you take it?
Did I take it? We'll find out. So I paired into Tim Willoughby, and I believe he owns a bar gaming place called Rule Zero in London. And Rule Zero is basically don't be a penis. He gave me a really nice badge. I've put it on my case. It'll go everywhere with me. Similar to our motto, I guess, of you get no extra points for me. So we kind of had a similar thought on the outgo. We had a lovely game. However, I think with Tim, he might have spoken to a few of his friends before and then got an idea of who I am, etc., and maybe got into his own head a little bit and really rushed the placing of his terrain. Because what it meant was, with the pictures that will hopefully appear, he stopped his Glockin from being able to push the middle of the board because his base couldn't fit through the 2 pieces of terrain and then where he had put his additional tree. And the Glockin matchup is actually quite difficult for me because you can really mitigate my damage with the counter charge mechanics. And I went, you know what? The Glockin can have that objective on that one side of the board. I'm just going to play on the other 2, and then when you do try and get it off me, I'm just going to put 36 quick herd on it, and you're not going to take it. So the game ended up just kind of petering along. I score 5, he scores 4. I score 5, he scores 4. At this point, I know I'm in complete control, and I know that I'm so far ahead on the ladder of the top of the 4-1s that as long as I get a 5+ point win here, I'm in a ridiculously strong position to take out the rest of the event. So the game ended, I believe, 28-20. So a nice 8-point win, which gave me that potential to finish out on the podium. So now I was just relying on a couple of players below me, your Mike Stewarts, your Chris Myhills, to not get a massive 20-0 and leapfrog me. But I thought it was pretty hard. So yeah, that was the 5 games, and the foot on throat mindset saw me through.
Wow.
So yeah, ended up finishing 3rd, which, like I say, is as good as I could have expected after my game 1. I finished on 83 differential points, which was 7 higher than Matt, who won the event.
Oh, nice.
Which shows that foot on throat killer mentality. I then had a total of 138 victory points across the event, which was too
insane.
higher than Matt, who won it.
Yeah.
Which again, I know Matt probably played some slightly harder games than me throughout the course of the event, which may have meant he would have dropped a few points. But again, it's that mindset of going all the way through and just finishing the job, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Despite the 3 absolute hammerings I dished out,
Yeah.
I also picked up 3 favourite game votes, which I'm pretty happy about considering the types of games that are being played. It's really hard to obtain favourite game votes when you're not playing more than 2 turns of Warhammer,
Yeah.
especially in the manner in which the list plays it, because your opponent just doesn't have any toys.
Yeah.
So it's hard to really enjoy a game when you don't feel like you're doing anything to contribute to the game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, super happy. 3rd place at Bloodshed. And even sweeter after losing game 1. So yeah, fantastic.
Especially in such a competitive field as well. Like, as you mentioned, ex-England players, Matty G, all wonderful guys and incredible players as well. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's just looking at the top 8, you've got 8 international players from England, Ireland, and Wales. So
nice.
Really competitive field, quite a mixed bunch of lists. So Matt G, obviously Seraphon. Owen Jackson got the first 5-0 with Beast of Chaos in this GHP, which is amazing. And kudos to him. He's stuck with it, and he's kept going with Beast of Chaos despite it kind of falling away a little bit within the meta. Obviously, I was on Gits. Mike Stewart was playing Cities. Chris Myhill, Idenef, but not Sharks.
Ooh.
So a bit of a different list, which he's quite well known for playing really odd shit. So he just somehow makes it work.
Yeah.
You've then got Sylvaneth, Disciples of Zinch with Mick from Ireland, which is a real surprise. And then Alex Bruce, who also had Cities of Sigmar and classic 30 Fusiliers, Double Command Corp, but had 15 Cavaliers, I believe, so a bit more combat output.
Mm-hmm.
Super unlucky, he got paired into Owen round 5 on Frigid Zephyr. And when you've got 30 Fusiliers that can't shoot stuff that comes on from anywhere, it kind of sucks.
Oh, no. Oh, that hurts my brain.
Just got to make the Zephyr disappear, right? That's what you do.
Just roll 5 up.
Yeah,
round
exactly.
2. It works.
I don't know why people are complaining.
Yeah. Just win it.
Exactly. So yeah, my the event was amazing. I want to shout out Steve Curtis, Dan George. Both go at Fireborn Miniatures and at Broccoli Boy on Twitter. For me, it's one of the go-to events in the UK. So I've gone to it every year since I've got into the hobby, and it's always been amazing. They always try and up what they do in terms of prize support. Food's really good. They even decided to take 4 tables away this year, so to make their event smaller, to make it more comfortable for everyone, so there's more spacing between tables. So these aren't guys that are just like going out there to milk a penny. They really want to make sure that their event is seen as being one of the pinnacle events in the UK.
Mm-hmm. And the venue is amazing as well, right?
Yeah, it's in a old church, so it's quite a cool atmosphere. It's got a bar in there as well, which do table service, which is unbelievable. And then I think they have a couple of restaurants over the road where we ended up just going direct to the restaurant to get our food, which was quite nice, rather than like a Subway platter.
Yeah.
I know it's not very common in the US to get fed, but over here it's expected, and it better be good. But yeah, they're really accommodating, and like I said, prize support unreal. So it was a golden ticket event, unfunded, because even funding one person to go to Atlanta is super expensive. They then had bottom 3 prizes, so they had wooden spoon, a fork. I think it was like for good forking try.
Oh
And
no, it
then,
was a knife try
yeah,
and forking good effort and stuff like that. I loved
yeah,
it. I
yeah,
saw it on Twitter. It's chef's kiss.
it was amazing. And then they had locally some amazing dice boxes made. Um, I was there hoping that they were going to give out best in faction to podium places
Ooh.
because I had my eyes on these dice boxes.
Hmm.
Alas, to no avail. Best in faction didn't go to podium places.
Damn.
Tears everywhere. Um, but yeah, High Wycombe. It's not too far from Heathrow if people wanted to travel over and go to it. It is an amazing event. However, you have to be really bloody quick to get tickets. I think they sold out in less than a minute
Jesus
when they
Christ.
go online. Got a tip for people: you can speed up your checkout by not actually typing your name and just whacking in random letters. That's what I do. I'll get a message straight away going, "Is this you? Quiddibbly pop or whatever I've typed in?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and that's 8 tickets, please. Thank you.
Jesus.
Um, but yeah, if you can, definitely try and get across. Amazing guys, always try and put on the best event that they can.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, definitely we'll be getting a ticket next year.
The way you've been talking about the event and the build up to it, I know we had a chat at Brotherhood about it. We, of course, have our internal AOS crowd communication stuff, and the way you've talked about the event prior to the event itself, and then afterwards as well, has just given me such an incredible image of what the tournament is like, what the opponents are like, and what the organization just does for the players. And I'm really keen to come over actually. So maybe next year?
Potentially, could be on the cards. I will. I'm pretty renowned at getting those tickets pretty speedily, so you just let me know if you want one, and I will.
I will definitely let
I'll
you know
add
in
you to my
time.
alias.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So with that, that is probably the wrap up of Bloodshed in the Shires 2024. Um, from me, my next event is Sheffield Slaughter, which, aka also known as Team England Training Weekend, apparently.
Way! Love
So
to hear it.
I might be grudged round one. I'm sure
Oh.
Twitter will tell you. So we've got Sheffield Slaughter coming up at the end of February, which I believe is the longest standing Age of Sigmar event in the UK. Maybe the world. Let's try out world. Yeah, go for it. Um, so super excited for that. Thex legal, thank Christ, because
Yes.
I don't want to play Gits anymore. Battlescroll is going to be out, so cities can go back in the bin that they deserve to be in. Um,
Hmm.
the next
Well, we
video
don't
we're covering,
know, actually.
they better be. They better be. That list is oppressive to play against.
Yes, it definitely is.
Um, so that is going to be my next tournament review, which will be Sheffield Slaughter.
Hmm.
I will be playing Thek. I haven't decided what type of build yet. I might just go super aggro and yeet 18 horrors at people, or I might be going for fun and playing with Nagash and
Ooh.
60 ghouls or 30 crypt guard and just see what type of weekend I want to have.
Hmm.
It's probably going to be the try hard, 18 horrors, smash people off as quick as possible, but I need to obtain 9 more horrors in order to do that, so...
That's fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's only a week away,
Hmm.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
easy. Not like GW have really good stock at the moment, so...
No, no.
No, no. What events are you got coming up?
Oh, well, there are not really a few in my immediate future. I'm currently looking at preparing for a couple of golden ticket events that are around my general area. um,
Exciting.
Again, just going into my backyard, beating up a couple of noobs, and then hopefully taking home a golden ticket. but we'll have to wait and see. But content-wise, I will be recording the interview with Toby about the German Club Championships at some point later this week. Hope to get that done pretty soon so we can provide a little bit more content for you guys. And other than that, there's a team event. I can't quite recall what the name of it is, to which I'm going sometime in March.
I heard the TO has devilishly good looks.
He also loves
Slight
smashing
monotone
people
voice.
off.
Yeah. And apparently his brother's helping him run it, but I'm clueless as to what he's done for this event so far. But,
Oh well. I guess we'll
Yeah.
find out closer to the actual date. What's planned, what type of teams there will be, but
yeah, how sweaty it's going to be.
yeah.
But
Don't have
in
a
the
crystal
meantime-
ball, unfortunately.
Exactly. But until then, remember, you don't get any extra points for being a